Guys, today I'm going to tell you a horror story that happened to me personally. Even now, thinking back on it, my hands are shaking. It started 3 days ago with a text message. I was on my break at work when my phone suddenly buzzed with a notification. It was odd, it was from an unknown number. Normally, I just ignore spam like that, you know, sales calls and stuff. But this one was different. It didn't even show a number, just a blank space, and one message, hide and seek. I thought maybe someone had the wrong number, trying to reach a friend to play a game or something, so I casually replied, think you have the wrong number, not sure who you are trying to reach, but they are not here. I didn't give it much more thought and went back to work. Towards the end of the workday, I habitually checked my phone, and there was another text, still from that blank line where a number should be. The message was, hide and seek. I started to feel a bit confused, even annoyed, so I replied again, like I said before, I think you have the wrong number. Who is this? Who are you trying to get a hold of to play hide and seek? I stared at the screen for a moment, and just as I was about to put it away, a new message arrived, you, hide and seek. My patience had reached its limit. If they weren't going to answer, I'd just block this non-existent number. Thankfully, the conversation thread vanished, and I felt a sense of relief. I got into my car, started the engine, and headed home. Just as I got on the road, another notification popped up. I used my car's text-to-speech function to read it out. This time, it was my roommate, Mike. He was asking me to pick up more beer from the convenience store, saying he'd apparently finished off what we had left. I grumbled to myself about always being the one to buy it. I was really getting tired of it, but I definitely needed a drink after dealing with those weird texts. I sent him a reply, I can this time, but if you're going to keep drinking everything we have, then you better start paying for it. I stopped by a nearby gas station close to our apartment, grabbed a case of beer, and continued driving home. As soon as I got back in the car, my phone buzzed again. I was already annoyed, assuming it was Mike complaining about something else being out. But instead, as the text-to-speech read out the message, I froze, seek, drink. My mind reeled. It all clicked. Seek, drink? Isn't that search, drink? This was clearly related to Mike asking me to bring back beer. I immediately called Mike. He answered after several rings and sounded a bit stoned. Hey man, what's up? Did you grab the beer? I was a mix of shocked and annoyed. Yeah, I did. Are you messing with me? How are you sending those messages? When I call you, I can see your number, but not when you sent that weird text. What kind of app are you using? Also, what's the point? I'm not home yet. How can I play hide and seek? Besides, I'm not 5 years old. That seek drink thing was a pretty obvious giveaway for whatever weird game you're playing. There was a brief pause on the other end, and then he responded, man, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't send anything like that. Weird, who wants to play hide and seek? Anyway, get home, man, my buzz is fading. He hung up on me, and I was even more confused. If he hadn't sent it, who did? I drove home, feeling a little on edge. When I got back to the apartment, Mike greeted me at the door. Well, by greeted, I mean he snatched the case of beer, walked straight to the fridge, grabbed two, and then collapsed back onto the couch. Nice to see you too, I mumbled under my breath. I wanted to ask him about the texts again, but I just shrugged, grabbed a drink for myself, and lumbered back to my room, feeling exhausted. I was so tired I decided to call it an early night. Just as I stepped into my room, my phone buzzed, another text from no number.
Almost time, hide or seek.
I was completely creeped out at that point. How were the messages still getting through after I blocked it? I decided to respond again. Stop messaging me. I don't know who this is, and I don't want to play. Leave me alone. After sending it, I tried blocking it again, and for good measure, I turned my phone off completely. I tried to settle down and just go to sleep. I managed to nod off for a bit, but then I suddenly heard a knock at my door. I jolted awake and heard Mike's slurring voice.
Hey man, I don't know what the hell, but I think someone is trying to get a hold of you. I just got a trippy message, and it sounded like what you were talking about earlier. Check it out.
I rushed to the door and saw Mike staring at his phone in a confused stupor. I grabbed it from him and looked at the message.
Last chance, hide or seek.
My heart sank, and a wave of panic rose in my chest. I asked Mike.
When did you get this?
He shrugged his shoulders.
A while ago, man. I don't remember exactly. I wasn't looking at my phone. What's going on?
I stepped back into my room and turned my own phone back on. Sure enough, there was a missed message.
Okay, you hide.
I stared at the words in mounting fear. I had no idea what to do, but I felt suddenly exposed. I considered calling the police, but what would I tell them? Nothing had happened, just a creepy text thread. Yet something felt wrong, like something bad was about to happen. I looked over at Mike. He looked confused and a bit paranoid as well. Before I could try and explain things, the lights went out. At first, I thought it might be a power outage. Then I heard the slow creaking sound of the front door opening, despite being sure I had locked it when I got home. Terror gripped me instantly. I knew something was seriously wrong. I quickly crouched down in the dark and whispered the only thing I could think of to Mike: hide. I crawled onto the floor and under my bed. I was just about to call 911 when my phone suddenly died. It just lost power, even though it had over half a charge left. I shoved the useless device into my pocket and tried to see if there was anything I could use as a light source. But then I froze. I heard a strange shuffling sound. Then heavy footsteps, much heavier than Mike's. I noticed the temperature in the room had dropped suddenly. It felt like it was freezing. As the footsteps echoed and moved closer, I also smelled a fetid tinge in the air, like something rotten. I crawled back as far as I could and huddled up as small as possible under the bed, holding my breath. I heard my closet door gently shutting and thought it might be Mike hiding in there. Then the heavy footsteps picked up the pace. I suddenly realized if I could hear the door closing, whatever the hell was in here with us could hear it too. I considered calling out to Mike to move, but fear froze my voice. The heavy footsteps were in the room now. Despite my efforts to try and see what stalked us, I couldn't make anything out in the darkness. I just sat there, silent and immobile, holding my breath and waiting. After several long moments, I thought we might be safe. Then I heard the sound of the closet door breaking and shattering. And then Mike screamed, a haunting, nightmare-inducing shriek. Something had found him. The cry of terror was suddenly silenced. I didn't hear anything violent, just a scream and then utter silence. I had no idea what the hell had just happened. For a long while, I sat there, paralyzed with fear, until finally, the light came back on. When I summoned the courage to creep out from under the bed and see what had happened, I was shocked to see only the shattered remains of my closet door lying on the ground. Despite the ruined door, there were no traces of anyone or anything else. Mike had vanished. I slowly called out his name, getting louder and more emboldened as I moved into the hall where the light was on again. No one responded. There was no one else in the apartment. I stumbled through the apartment searching for my roommate, but he was gone. Worse still, I had no idea just where the hell he had gone. No trace of Mike has shown up in the last couple of days since it happened. I don't know if anything ever will. I think he can finally be declared missing, but I don't know if it will do any good. It was impossible, but whatever had broken into our place had found him, and now he was missing. He had lost hide and seek, and that thing, whatever it was, took him away. The entire nightmare is unbelievable. Yet even now, as I write about my friend's impossible disappearance, my phone suddenly buzzes, and I receive another text, hide and seek. I don't know what to do. I don't know what this is. Maybe I should respond again, a different way this time. Maybe it might help, might keep me safe from whatever, or whoever, is doing this. Perhaps I can find out. My reply is one word: seek.